See about April 21 Indian Express news articles. First article is related to R value over 1 across India. Delhi brings back mask mandate. Let us see what is that. India's effective reproduction number R value for COVID-19, an indicator of how quickly disease is spreading in the population, has increased to over 1 for the first time since mid-January during the third wave of pandemic. An R value of 1, which signifies that every infected person is passing on the infection to at least one person on an average, is a key threshold average which cases begin to rise. Next article that we are moving into is related to encroachment. What the article talks about: the due process lies at the heart of citizens' rights and freedoms. A bulldozer ran over it in the national capital. They continued on their mission to race for well over an hour after the Supreme Court ordered them to pass. After all, in dense urban sprawls across India, encroachment of public spaces is so widespread that it is not remarkable anymore. What is striking is the selective actions taken in its name by the state. In Jahangirpuri, as in Khargone in Madhya Pradesh, only days earlier, the timing was a giveaway. Illegal encroachment has become the pretext of BJP administration to target rioters after the eruption of communal violence who belongs overwhelming to one community. No notice were sent to the residents of Jahangirpuri before bulldozers were sent to the demolished structures, many in the vicinity of the mosque that was the center of communal classes Saturday. Bylaws call for a notice except in cases of public land encroached by temporary structures. It goes to the fundamental promise that lies at the heart of the constitutional democracy to protect lives and safeguard rights. Due process is not just what is written into the rule book, it is inscribed in the everyday relation between the institution and the citizens and the government. It is what keeps them honest and respectful of each other's freedom and spaces. The attempt to cook a snook at the judiciary should set many alarms bell ringing, especially in the court. Illegal encroachment in public spaces need to be addressed, but as per the law, it's for the Supreme Court to underline this principle. It is only bulwark for the citizens against a transgressive state. It must act. It cannot kick this can down the road for a citizen's sake and for its own. Next article that we are moving into is related to unsung Dalit women heroes. Their stories must become part of historical and cultural narratives. Dakshayani Velayudan was the first and only Dalit woman to be elected to the Constitutional Assembly in 1946. Next article is India's wheat opportunity. It must not rush to encash it. Not delivering on quality or not honoring commitments sustainably can have the counterproductive long-term effects. Russia and Ukraine together accounted for nearly 30% of global wheat export. The sudden shortage of wheat in the global market and the surge in price have spawned a discussion in India on how best to capitalize on the opportunity. India's wheat production has consistently exceeded its demand for the past 5 years, as seen in the build-up of inventory. Exporting all the surplus stocks would push up domestic wheat price, potentially inviting restrictions on future exports. In agricultural trade, India has the dubious distinction of being an unreliable trading partner, which partly explains its 1% of share of the global wheat export, despite being second largest producer in the world. Rushing to encash the opportunity can potentially dent the long-term prospects for agricultural export. A bigger concern from the perspective of a sustained opportunity is that Indian wheat is not competitive globally in most years, as the government through FCI buys 40% of all output at minimum MSP, minimum support price, and the FCI holds most of the surplus grain at high cost. Exports only occur when the export prices far exceed the MSP. Under World Trade Organization commitments, the government may not sell procured grains for commercial grains. FCI releases wheat into the market and traders buy from the market and then export. As the MSP only rises every year, every global price fall. Export would be difficult. Consideration of export parity price amplifies the lack of competitiveness. There is an inefficiency at the ports too. After meeting all the cost, does India remains competitive and leave enough margins for sellers? The crisis can be an opportunity for India to fix the fundamentals like time to trade and cost to trade, which are amongst the highest globally. Neighboring Bangladesh importing wheat from Russia, Ukraine when India is accumulating surpluses deserves scrutiny. Indian agriculture produce faces more rejection in key export market compared to other developing countries. India has the highest number of consignment rejection in both Europe and US market despite a comparatively low level of agricultural exports. Next article is in a free fall. Politics and economics of freebies are deeply flawed and they are the quick passport to fiscal disaster. India is a union of states. It is not a confederation of states. It is not a question of holding together but of coming together. The union is indestructible. The configuration of states which constitute the union can change. Strength of center lies in the strength of states. Therefore, macroeconomic stability of union is consignment of macroeconomic stability of both the center and state. The political dialogue built around freebies is fraught with danger. There is a greatest ambiguity in what freebies means. We need to distinguish between the concept of merit goods and public goods on which the expenditure outlays have overall benefit. Public distribution system, employment guarantee scheme and support to education and enhanced output for health, particularly during the pandemic, all over the world, these are considered to be the desirable expenditures. There are 7 reasons why. First one is reasons why. First is freebie and undercut the basic framework of macroeconomic stability. The politics of freebie distorts the expenditure priorities. Some have speculated that the promise of freebie might cost around 17,000 crore for the implementation. If we take everything impacting the debt ratio of Punjab into account, there is going into the additional impact of 3% GSDP. As we know, the debt to GDP ratio of Punjab is already 53.3% for 2020-21 and 2022, which would worsen on the account of these new measures. Second is the issue of distortion of expenditure priority. Take for instance the change to new contributory pension scheme from the old scheme which had a fixed return. Rajasthan announced it would revert to the old pension scheme. 6% of the population, which is made up of civil servants, stands to benefit from this 56% of state's revenue. This is fraught with danger not only for intergenerational inequality but also affects the broader principle of equity and morality. Fourth is movement away from the environment. When we talk of freebies, it is the context of providing, for example, free power, certain quantum of free power, water and kinds of consumption goods. This distracts outlays from the environmental and sustainable growth, renewable energy and more efficient public transportation. Fifth is distortion of agriculture priorities. This affects agriculture practices which do not depend upon extensive use of water and fertilizer. Depleting supply of groundwater is an important issue to consider speaking of freebies pertaining to free consumption of goods and services. Freebies bringing into question market differentiation between the profligate and non-profligate states. Whether we can have a resource mechanism for subnational bankruptcy. This means eventually that states compete to underbid each other in the lowering taxes, expenditures and regulation. Must strive instead of race to efficiency through laboratories of democracy and sanguine federalism where states use their authority to harness the innovative ideas and solutions to common problem which other states can emulate. Indeed, it is not the road to efficiency or prosperity but a quick passport to fiscal disaster. This is what this article talks about. If you like the video, please do share, like, comment and subscribe. Let us continue the next article in the next video. Thank you.